What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and I am terribly excited to talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus today. This is pretty much the launch day for many people. If you're gonna buy the game on the Australian, New Zealand eShop, then you can do it there if you have the account. Also, if you live in the West Coast, it's going to be available at 9 p.m. PT, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So there's going to be a lot of Pokemoning out there. Then of course, people just getting the game early. So I have a variety of things to talk about when it comes to Pokemon Legends Arceus, when it comes to the game itself, and why I was exactly right and what the reviews prove. Now, I've heard people talk about this, but remember, your boy here on PlayerEssence, I told you guys that Pokemon Legends Arceus was going to be a good game before the reviews came out. Now we're just confirming what I was already saying about this, but there's some information on that I wanted to go over because things get quite interesting as you go through some of the reviews based on some of the stuff that was said before and what is happening right now. Before we get into anything, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and make sure you check out our Twitter page, PlayerEssence, for a chance to win Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'll be giving the game away. I'll be streaming the game today and tomorrow and for a while. So there will be opportunities to win some cool stuff right here on PlayerEssence. Now let's go ahead and get into this review roundup and what this review says, why I was right about it, what is going on. So the biggest thing about Pokemon Legends Arceus is that this is the best reviewing Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch platform. That's the first barrier that it's broke through. All of the other Pokemon games don't have anything higher than I think an 81, 82. I know Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, that's in the 70s. Pokemon Sword and Shield, I think that's 80, 79 or 80, something like that. And Let's Go's low 80s or 80 or whatever. So this game is considerably higher with its 86 percentile range on Metacritic. So right now at this point, there's going to be more reviews that roll in, and even by the time that you're watching this, there might be more reviews as people who didn't get early copies review the game. But right now the game has an 86. There's 41 critic reviews. 38 of those are positive, and how Metacritic does it is that if you get anywhere from an 80 to 100, that is a green positive review. So the breakdown right now out of these 41 reviews is that you have 38 positive and 3 mixed. Now we're gonna go over the really good, the mid stuff, and also the bad. So right now, right off the back, we've got 3 100s from VGC, which is a good site. Comicbook.com, not so sure about them, but hey, 100 there, and also Telegraph as well. And if you go down the line here, there are some 90s, quite a number of 90s, actually a high amount. Nintendo World Report, which is a site that I've always thought were really honest and truthful about the games. I did want to read what they had to say about it. An astoundingly smart improvement on the tried and true Pokemon formula. It's not without its blemishes, largely in the dreadful visuals, but the foundation laid here is what I hope the Pokemon franchise pivots to more in the future. It twists the focus just enough to make the experience of fulfilling out a Pokedex more engaging, all while filling battles and catching with way more variety. Legends Arceus doesn't quite catch them all, but it's satisfying the whole way through and makes me thrilled for the future in a way I haven't been in years. And I think that's what I was saying about this game, because this game does not have the multiplayer aspect. I knew right then and there that this game was going to be more popular with the critics, because the critics do not judge Pokemon games. Most of them do not judge it on the multiplayer. They judge it on the single player. And there's no way that the single player can be incredible or the greatest thing ever if they're worried about balancing the multiplayer. You can't change things up too much in the combat and how the battles work if you have to balance that for multiplayer. Pokemon Legends removes that multiplayer albatross underneath the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, so they're able to focus on the combat and the single player experience to where you can move around and catch Pokemon the way that you want to and do all these different things instead of streamlining it for the multiplayer experience. Now, if the reviewers actually judged previous Pokemon games on the Switch on multiplayer, I think that you would have got a lot better results, because the multiplayer in Pokemon's good, but a lot of them don't have time to do that or don't want to do the multiplayer. So having a single player focused Pokemon game was going to net higher results on these reviews, and I was exactly right about that. Now, I am going to go down. There are a number of 80s and things like that, so we're going to read an 80 or so. So VG247, which is a site that isn't always so friendly when it comes to Nintendo stuff. Let's hear what they had to say. They gave it an 8 out of 10, and they had this: Pokemon Legends Arceus threads the needle and somehow finds a brilliant balance between old and new, between tradition and upheaval. It's the 3D Pokemon adventure that I imagined back in the 90s that never came. It's fresh, it feels new, exciting, and like a powerful new beginning for the series. Technical shortcomings and minor frustrations can't take away what the game achieves elsewhere. It's the best main series Pokemon game in a long time. So once again, they're focused on the single player. They're not focused on the multiplayer, where you have people that are like, wait a minute, this game doesn't have multiplayer, but it's not built for that. It's a single player experience, and that's why you see people saying, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. And I think that there are a lot of fantastic ideas that make Pokemon Legends Arceus really good. Now, GameSpot, I do want to read another one from them, because once again, they can be pretty critical at times. GameSpot, they gave it an 8 out of 10, and they said some of the new ideas in Arceus have rough edges, and it's slow start before you get access to many environments and mounts. This is an awkward first step, but it was a big adjustment for me, a longtime fan of the series, to make. Once Pokemon Legends Arceus finds its stride though, it's the most daring and inventive the series has been in years, breaking apart the stated core and creating something new and exciting from its pieces. Now, I do want to read some of the negative reviews out there, because there are 3 negative reviews, and one of them is ridiculous. Digital Trends, or not even negative reviews, Digital Trends gave it a 70. PC Mag, which I don't know why they're reviewing this game, gave it a 70. And then IGN Italia, this is the controversial one, and I said that if it's like 50, it gets a red, but apparently it's lower than that, because 50 says mixed here, but 50 seems pretty bad to me. That's like a 5 out of 10, right? So IGN Italia says Pokemon Legends Arceus shouldn't have been the next step for the franchise, but it turned out to be a disappointing experience. Now, from what I've read in this review, they're upset over multiplayer not being in the game, but I think that they don't realize that this is not a multiplayer focused game. It's not taking over the franchise in terms of the regular generation of Pokemon. We're still gonna get that big Generation 9 out there. Now, this is a mainline Pokemon game, which we're gonna get to more information on that. Joe Merrick on Twitter has the beat on that one. But what I think that they don't understand is that it's not that. This is a single player experience, and I think they were looking for more of a Pokemon Sword and Shield multiplayer experience to accompany what's going on here, because based on what I read in their review, it doesn't really seem like the gameplay is the problem. It's more like it's not what I thought it was going to be, but still a 50 out of there, so you might want to check it out. But yeah, that's IGN Italia on the beat on that one with that 50, so pretty bad there. Now let's talk about what Joe Merrick had to say. He's the dude, he's like the Pokemon legend out there, you know, he's running that website and everything. So people have discussed whether this game is a mainline game or main series or not. And I'm going to give you guys the real reason after this, but let's talk about what Merrick had to say here. He put this tweet out there saying, yeah, it's 100% confirmed as main series. In Japan, it's labeled as this Pocket Monster series latest game. This right here is the official name for the main series. So as you can see, they have the shot right there. They have everything, the Japanese, it all lines up to what it is. But I also feel that there is another play into this, and that is money, money, money. I think that this game is netting them so much, and I think that it's doing so well that it has no choice but to be a mainline series game going forward. And the ideas of what they're doing, what they've spent, I get it. The graphics aren't the greatest thing in the world. I completely understand that. However, the gameplay ideas and the amount of time that they spent crafting all of this experience based on the reviews out there is main series worthy. And on top of that, you can run it parallel to what you're already doing and open up another revenue stream as a mainline series that isn't a remake of a previous game or retelling of a previous game's story. So this isn't Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, which is a remake. This isn't Pokemon Let's Go, which is like a remake slash retelling slash whatever it is, but Go, right? This is taking something that you've had before, a region, and completely changing everything that you thought that you knew about the formula of Pokemon and developing a separate revenue line and a separate brand. Almost like Final Fantasy 16 and the Final Fantasy main series of games and Final Fantasy Online, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14. You can have both running concurrently. It's not one or the other, or if this is or if there isn't. It is, and they can continue to make Pokemon Legends games in different regions. This combat, this battle system, the single player focus, this is going to be far more popular, evolved with the reviewers than the mainline Pokemon games with the regular mainline games are ever going to be, because those games have to take advantage of the multiplayer, and those reviewers don't care about that, which what I've been saying, it's exactly what I've been saying, why the Pokemon games, yes, the graphics and the combat hasn't changed when it comes to stuff as much as they would have wanted to, but I guarantee you, even if Pokemon Sword and Shield had great graphics, they still would have been upset about the gameplay in the game, because they're not going to take advantage of all that cool multiplayer aspects that Pokemon games do offer. So I feel that this is going to be the turning tide for a lot of the single player fans out there, and of course the reviewers, as well as a mainline series game. So it is that. Joe Merrick once again confirmed that via Twitter, and you know, you don't really doubt what Joe has to say, because this man has dedicated almost all his life to Pokemon when it comes to things. Now, there's also some other information on Pokemon Legends Arceus on launch day here, guys. Stick with me, we got some more. Pokemon Legends Arceus update version 1.0.1 should be available when you do get the game, or if you already have it, you should go there and you should download it. We do have some patch notes, but just like Nintendo does sometimes, it ain't much what they're showing us. Shout out to NintendoEverything for this one here, talking that Pokemon Legends Arceus has received its first update, bringing the game to version 1.0.1. Nintendo has shared the patch notes, but they are a bit brief. Now, as noted, the update involves the following, quote, fixed some problems for a better gaming experience. Now, we unfortunately don't know any details beyond just that. We're not clear what they fixed, what issue it was, what they were doing, what the better experience is, or anything like that. Now, based off of some of the reviews of the game runs really good. The game's resolution is good. Maybe the graphics aren't the best, but the resolution stays pretty stout. So it seems like things are okay with it. I'm not really sure what it is, but maybe they smoothed out things even more. Maybe there's less dips here and there. Digital Foundry hasn't got their hands on it, and it doesn't seem, based off of the guy that's on Twitter, the John Lindman guy, like he doesn't seem like he's going to be playing it, or at least anytime soon. They haven't really been covering too many Switch things. They've been packed with all sorts of big games coming up, but I'm pretty sure other people will put up like technical analysis and details. But anything that they can do to make the experience better, or potentially fix any type of game-breaking bugs that somebody hasn't ran into, or any type of issues, is definitely a good thing. So make sure you download the new patch of Pokemon Legends Arceus version 1.0.1. It should be right there by the time that you're watching this. If you have the game, you should be able to download it because it is available. So that's definitely a good thing. Now, last but definitely not least, before we wrap this one up, GameStop pre-order bonuses. You can still pre-order the game. Yes, it's coming out very soon, but there is still time, and there are some bonuses available. Now, you have to check on different sites on what you get, but I know that GameStop does have a pretty cool Pokemon Legends Arceus pre-order bonus. And basically what you get here is that you get a free art card set, and they look pretty cool. You get the whole region right there. You get the Piplup on the beach. You get the little camp base site with both of the heroes here. So I think that that's pretty cool. I like the fact that they are doing the pre-order bonuses. So if you want to get something, make sure you check that out. Now, let's talk about this, wrapping up everything with what I was saying with Pokemon Legends Arceus and the reviews of it, and kind of proving exactly what I was saying with it. Now, the one thing with Pokemon Legends Arceus that I saw beforehand was the mechanics of the RPG. Now, I'm pretty good at determining these type of things. I went on the Spawncast, which was, I think, last week at this point. Yeah, last week's Spawncast. And while everyone was very skeptical about how this game would play out with the gameplay and if it was going to be good or not, there was a lot of, I don't know, Pokemon Sword and Shield. There was a lot of that. Not me though. I was not that way. And the reason why I wasn't that way was because I looked at the mechanics of the game and I kind of analyzed it and saw that, once again, the albatross of the multiplayer is pulled out from underneath it. People don't realize, especially with Pokemon, how much you have to do to balance 300, 400, 500 Pokemon in a game and make that, well, okay, it works just like it does in single player, like it works in multiplayer. And you have to balance that. So it's hard to change things up because you're going to throw off the whole competitive balance of the game. You can't make it a super fast, heavy action RPG when you have all these Pokemon in there. It just doesn't work that way with the animations and everything. You just can't do it. And that's the reason why you don't see any AAA Pokemon clones out there. You don't see Activision, or you don't see Xbox, or you don't see Sony trying to copy this, because it's just very difficult to do. It's hard to do, it's very expensive, and I would say the chance of you breaking through and having something that's going to be incredible is very hard to do. Heck, we have Temtem, right? And that's on a smaller scale, but even that was difficult to do. And I played the game, I'm just like, not so sure. They did everything that the community said that they should do in that game. Look at stuff like Yokai Watch. They were doing fantastic as a turn-based RPG with really weird mechanics. They went to action RPG and it literally killed the franchise, because like, what happened to Yokai Watch? That used to be multi-million selling. It came out on the Switch and the PlayStation 4 and it sold bad. So you have to make sure that you balance these type of things. And I think that Pokemon Legends Arceus did exactly what I felt that it should do in order to get that better praise from people out there, but then also innovate as well without changing things too much. Having it to where you can move around and you can kind of craft and you can get your own stuff. All of these things are the things that I felt that was going to help it review a lot better and endear itself with the gamers out there. So I think that the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, did a great job with this game, and there's so much area and so much room for them to get better, right? You can evolve things even more. You can, of course, improve the graphics. You're going to get better hardware. And now that you have a set line of games with the Legends line that you can do going forward, that's not going to interfere with what you already do with the next generation, because there's millions of gamers that want that next generation, those new Pokemon, that new battling. You can have both, and they're going to buy both, because if you're looking at it, I talked about the sales, man. Everywhere, Pokemon Legends Arceus is the #1 game. Amazon, eShop, everywhere, it's doing big pre-orders and big numbers. So the Pokemon Company, yeah, it's going to be a mainline game, and yes, we're going to see more going forward. Yes, they're going to reuse some things and continue to evolve this and get it even better. So I'm very excited about that. I do want to make a quick note though, guys. There is multiplayer when it comes to trading. So you'll be able to trade with your friends on your friends list on the Nintendo Switch, but there is no actual competitive PvP. And once again, that's okay, because the game balances itself based on the reviews and stuff. It's difficult. It has a lot of extra content to do. There's a lot of stuff in there for that single player experience. If you want that multiplayer experience, of course, Pokemon Sword and Shield is still there for you. But this one is just built a bit different, and that's okay. It's a good thing, in my opinion, at least when it comes down to it. So I'm very happy about Pokemon Legends Arceus reviews. It reviewed a little bit better than I thought. I thought it was going to be like a mid to low. So I thought it was going to be like an 84-ish or so, but I got an 86 as the time that I'm recording this video. But I thought it had the potential to be a mid-80s game, because some people felt that, no, it's going to be in like the 70s or the low 80s, you know? So very good on that front. But what are your thoughts on Pokemon Legends Arceus and how well this game did a review? What are your thoughts on the RPG itself? How do you feel they're going to evolve the franchise going forward? Do you feel that they're going to take some of the aspects of this game and put it into the next big generation of Pokemon game? I think so. I think they're going to feed off of each other going forward. And Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, finally have a two-pillar strategy that works for Pokemon. And we don't need to worry about the rest of the stuff that they do, like the Chibi remakes, the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Don't got to worry about those. Don't got to worry about the Go series. Let's just do this going forward. But we'll see exactly how Nintendo tackles it, because chances are they're going to do, hey, here's a Let's Go Johto or whatever, right? So we'll see exactly how it ends up working out. But what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.